A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm sure that you guys have innumerable questions when it comes to MHCET, basically other law entrance test exams, and that's the reason why we are here. Today we are going to discuss MHCET English Language previous year papers, and I think you guys already know how hard it is to get our hands on the previous year papers, but still we try to gather as much information as possible in this particular video, and I hope that helps. And the first thing that we are going to see today is going to be the topic wise marks distribution, basically the weightage of every topic, and I hope you guys are ready for that. So let's see the very first slide. As you can see, that parts of speech has been a very constant topic in all these years, 2018, 2019, 2020. Every single year we have got at least 2 questions on parts of speech, and then there were some questions based on vocabulary. So I think in school we have all studied prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes such as words un. Whenever we add un in the beginning of a word, it changes the meaning of the word, right? Similarly, if I talk about the suffixes are the ones which come later in the latter part of the word, and that also changes the meaning. For example, ly, you must have heard words such as these. So there were a few questions from suffixes, prefixes. There were 3 questions from homophones. So always remember homophones, homonyms, these are important vocabulary topics when it comes to the AILETs. And then there was this one question on incorrect spellings, 3 on anatomy, spelling mistakes. All of these questions made a very prominent entry in 2021, and as you can see in 2022 we got 4 questions based on parts of speech. So again, parts of speech is the essential building blocks when it comes to framing a sentence. For example, you guys must have studied nouns, adjectives, prepositions, adverbs, conjunctions. ये सारे ही parts of speech होते हैं. This is nothing new. Everything that you have already studied, all you need is a quick revision and you're good to go. So be prepared for that at least, right? So moving to the next topic, which is one word substitution. You must have seen sentences like a person who always thinks negatively. What do we call such a person? So he's known as a pessimist, right? So that is known as one word substitution, and as you can see in 2018 we got 2 questions from that, 2019 4 questions, which is quite heavy, and 2020 and 2021 did not have any questions from this one topic, but again it made an entry in 2022. So we can definitely hope for it in the upcoming year as well, because this has been a very prominent topic since time immemorial. बहुत ही important topic है, इसको पढ़ लेना, ये भी vocabulary का ही part है in a way. Then the next one is spotting the errors. Again, अगर grammar आएगी तो spotting the errors is the most common question type, and as you can very well see the weightage is huge here. So 2018 2 questions आए थे. 2019 we saw a remarkable weightage here in spotting the errors question, which is 8 questions from this one topic, and then in 2020 we saw 8 questions from prepositions alone and 1 from pronoun, and there were again 1, 2, 3 questions from different topics when it comes to spotting the errors. 4 questions आए थे 2021 में, 2022 में 7 questions. In 2023 also we saw a handful of questions from spotting the errors only. So it's a very, very important topic, and it is something which you can gain mastery over through consistent practice. ठीक है? So moving to the next one is text completion. Now it can be fill in the blanks in the given RC. I think this is one topic which you must have also practiced when you were preparing for CLAT, when you were preparing for AILET. So fill in the blanks in the context of our RC is a very, again, common thing to occur. Sometimes it's also in the format of vocabulary through RCs. तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि आपको एक sentence उठा के दे दे RC passage में से, and then they will basically want you to fill in the blank with the appropriate word that can fit into that blank. Okay, now that can be based on vocabulary, that can be based on grammar as well, and that can be also based on your ability to comprehend a particular paragraph and basically fill fill in the blank with the perfect option that kind of is the missing piece of the puzzle, that kind of a thing. तो हम देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे कि in 2018 we saw somewhere around 17 questions from this one topic. So as you can see, over the course of years, although we saw a decline in the number of these questions, but still it's very much presence when it comes to OLEDs. तो हम देख सकते हैं 2019 में 4 questions, again 2020 4 questions in the format of parajumbles. Parajumbles का मतलब वही होता है, you need to unjumble all the 4 sentences which are given to you in a proper order so that it can make a meaningful paragraph. Then there is 2021, 1 question from parajumbles and 2 from miscellaneous. मतलब वही text completion आया होगा in the format of either grammar or vocabulary. Then again 2022, 2 questions from parajumbles. Parajumbles has always been, I would say, a very recurring topic. So this is something which you cannot really avoid. So parajumbles, generally people find themselves at loss when it comes to it because they do not practice enough. But I'm telling you, if you know your mandatory pairs when it comes to parajumbles, you will be able to cross this hurdle. And again, it's a matter of consistency and practice. There's nothing that you can't achieve through practice. So parajumbles is one of those question types. Then comes the RC. तो RC देखो, हम अगर लॉ के लिए जो भी एग्ज़ाम्स रहते हैं उसमें RC तो हमेशा आता ही है because they are trying to test your ability to understand a particular text. ठीक है. So as you can see, 2018 we saw 2 questions based on RCs. 2019 there were no RCs at all. 2020 we saw 10 questions. That means probably you must have gotten somewhere around 2 passages. And फिर से हम देख सकते हैं कि in 2021 probably there was 1 passage, 1 reading comprehension passage, 5 questions, and 2022 again saw an entry of 10 questions. That means 2 passages. So passages again is something which you guys have been constantly practicing. So अगर इसको हम बोल सकते हैं कि बहुत ज़्यादा weightage तो नहीं है passages का, but still this is something which you can definitely rely on. Also the level of difficulty is not as much. So I think this is one thing that you guys have it covered. And then moving to the synonyms and antonyms, again this is a part of vocabulary. तो हम देखते हैं कि I think you guys cannot really see my 2018 वाला part, so let me just say it out loud here. Synonyms 2 आए थे in the year 2018 and 3 आए थे in the year 2018 when it comes to antonyms. 2019 saw 4 questions each from synonyms as well as antonyms. Again in 2020 we saw 3 questions from synonyms and 2 questions from antonyms. 2021 did not really have any question from this particular category, and again in 2022 we saw 3 questions from synonyms and 2 from antonyms. Idioms is another very important topic when it comes to vocabulary. So idioms के 4 questions आए थे 2019 और 18 में, और अगर हम बात करते हैं 2020 की तो 3 questions from idioms again. And you must have again studied idioms in school probably, and also while you were preparing for other law entrance examinations. So an apple a day keeps the doctor away, things like that. Then moving forward to 2021 we saw 1 question, and in 2022 also we saw 1 question. Again this is a recurring topic, so I would recommend you to go through at least 4 to 5 idioms every single day, and I think on the day of the exam you will be well equipped when it comes to idioms if you practice 4 to 5 idioms every single day. And phrases is something which not many people know what to do with. So phrases is that part of a sentence which does not make complete sense on its own, and it's never in the combination of subject verb. So either you will get the subject there or you will get the verb, but never in a combination of both. So you might have heard phrases such as at the park or in the market. तो यहाँ पे सब्जेक्ट अवेलेबल नहीं है, वर्ब भी अवेलेबल नहीं है. कभी कभी सब्जेक्ट दिख जाएगा बट वर्ब नहीं दिखेगा, तो इट कैन नेवर मेक कंप्लीट सेंस ऑन इट्स ओन. तो हमेशा ये किसी ना किसी एक लार्जर पार्ट ऑफ अ सेंटेंस का पार्ट होता है, एक क्लॉज का पार्ट रहता है, एंड देन ओनली इट मेक्स सेंस. सो हमने देखा कि 2018 में there were 2 questions, then 2019, 2021, 2022 there were no questions from phrases, but then in 2020 we saw 9 questions in the format of match the following. ठीक है. So that is basically the general topic wise distribution, and you can very well see the weightage. There are some topics which are very crucial to your preparation, like para completion, para jumbles, one word substitution, synonyms, antonyms. तो इनको तो पढ़ना ही है. Parts of speech बहुत ही important topics हैं ये. Moving to the practice part of this particular thing. So we have created some questions around the same topic. As you can see, the first 4 questions are based on the same directions. You are supposed to find the word which is a synonym of the word that is given here. So the word here is juvenile, and you guys must have heard this word juvenile through juvenile delinquents. And juvie एक prison का एक part रहता है, juvies रहते हैं उसमें. तो juvies का मतलब होता है people who are under age. So I hope you guys have got your answer. So the answer is young person. They are known as juveniles, and obviously it's not an older person or offender, not even a middle-aged person. So young person is known as a juvenile. Bankrupt. If you are bankrupt, that means your I would say material wealth has been turned insolvent. Insolvent का मतलब ही ये होता है कि you have been bankrupt. Police has caught you. So यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं wealthy is not really bankrupt. अभी recently Maldives ने अपने आप को bankrupt घोषित किया है under IMF. So that's again talking about the insolvency of their country. Reckless का मतलब होता है when you mindlessly perform an act. तो mindless performance of an act is definitely not what bankrupt is. Honest, अगर honest होता तो honest तो opposite हो गया bankrupt का, क्योंकि bankrupt वही लोग होते हैं generally who are not really honest when it comes to their financial exchanges. So the answer should be insolvent, as you can see. The next one is spendthrift. Now the thing is, spendthrift is a person who loves to spend money. And not necessarily they have the money all the time, but जितना भी पैसा होता है उनको बहुत मज़ा आता है पैसा खर्च करने में. So I think you guys must have got your answer, right? Obviously it's not famous, it's not miser. Miser का मतलब होता है somebody who is kind of saves all the money that they have. Similarly frugal भी वही होता है जिनका easily हाथ से पैसा नहीं निकलता. तो these are kind of opposites of spendthrift. So the answer is extravagant. Extravagant का मतलब होता है a person who is wasteful. Then moving to the next one, when you violate a law, that means you are disobeying it. अगर आप किसी चीज़ को वायोलेट करते हो इसका मतलब आप उसे फॉलो नहीं करते हो. तो फॉलो तो उसका ऑपोजिट हो गया. आंसर होना चाहिए डिसोबे. कमांड हैज़ नो रिलेशन टू वायोलेट, एंड रिगार्ड का भी मतलब वायोलेट नहीं होता है. इट बेसिकली मीन्स टू डिसोबे, राइट? सो द आंसर इज बी, डिसोबे. Let's see the next question type, which is you are supposed to find the antonyms of the words given here. Again, the word in question is super easy. Cruel. Cruel का मतलब होता है in Hindi somebody who is very आप बोल सकते हो heartless, and somebody who is very rude also, and आप बोल सकते हो उसको क्रूर in हिंदी. तो cruel का मतलब होता है person who is not at all, यहाँ पे weak से कोई भी मतलब नहीं है. यहाँ पे a person who is kind is opposite. ठीक है, तो cruel का opposite होता है kind, so technically this should be the answer, right? Brutal का मतलब भी cruel ही होता है, so this is a synonym, but we are supposed to find the antonym of it. Troublesome, no. One who creates a lot of trouble is troublesome, which has no resonance to the word cruel. So the answer should be kind. C. The next one is adjourn. Adjourn का मतलब होता है when you basically stop, or I would say किसी चीज़ को halt पे ले आना, रुक जाना. तो can you guys guess what could be the answer for this? इसका opposite ढूंढना है हमें. So adjourn का मतलब होता है किसी चीज़ पे stoppage लगा देना या थोड़ी देर के लिए रोक देना. So like we adjourn the meeting, or the judge adjourns the case. सो एग्जैक्टली पोस्टपोन का भी मतलब डिले ही होता है, डिले का भी मतलब डिले ही है, और प्रीपोन का मतलब है उसको पहले ही कर देना, तो विच हैज़ अगेन नो रिलेशन टू द वर्ड एडजर्न. सो द ओनली वर्ड विच इज़ ऑपोजिट ऑफ द वर्ड एडजर्न इज टू कंटिन्यू एन एक्टिविटी, which is option B. Exactly, most of you I think have guessed it right. Lovely. Moving on to the next one, industrious. An industrious person is a hard-working, sincere person, and जिसको काफ़ी efforts भी डालना पसंद होता है, जिसको success पसंद होती है, तो ऐसे लोग जो होते हैं उनको industrious कहा जाता है. and उसका opposite क्या हो सकता है? hard-working का opposite क्या होता है? So this is a synonym, obviously not our answer. An indifferent person is the one who doesn't care about anything. So obviously industrious से कोई भी relation नहीं है इसका. The only answer that comes to the mind here is lazy, right? क्योंकि industrious is a hard working man and उसका opposite होता है lazy person who does not like to put in the hard work. So C. As you can very well see that the words are not really that difficult, and if you guys have a decent set of vocabulary, then I don't really think this should be a problem. The only thing is the accuracy matters the most because the number of seats are less. So moving on to the next question type, again we are supposed to find the opposite. Hostile का मतलब होता है anybody who is unfriendly. Anybody who is always ready to pick fights. So आपसे लड़ाई करने के लिए हमेशा तैयार ऐसा इंसान होता है hostile. तो उसका opposite क्या हो सकता है? Unfriendly का opposite तो एक ही चीज़ होती है, and which is option C. Friendly. A person who is humane, that means they have a lot of regard for other people, they are empathetic, they are sympathetic, पर यहाँ पे hostile से कोई relation नहीं है उसका. Mischievous means naughty. Merciful means somebody who shows a lot of mercy, दया होती है जिसके अंदर. But again hostile का मतलब होता है unfriendly और उसका opposite होता है friendly. The next one is in the form of a cloze test. ठीक है, it can be considered as a cloze test, but it's based on vocab. Now cloze test can be based on vocab, it can be based on tenses as well. ठीक है, जब एक पैराग्राफ दिया जाता है then there are certain words which are given in the format of blanks, fill in the blanks, and you are supposed to fill in the correct word. ठीक है, so let's see what the paragraph is all about. यहाँ पे बताया जा रहा है what is the main objective of art and dash living. ठीक है, अब हमें नहीं पता है कि which living are they talking about, and that is to develop dash sensibilities and skills of healthful living besides providing a dash ground for love of labor. The first question is based on option C. तो हमें देखना है कि option C में क्या best option हो सकता है. ठीक है, is it nurturing, is it fruitful, is it attractive or interesting? Let's see the sentence. Sensibilities and skills of healthful living besides providing a dash ground for love of labor. A fruitful ground for love of labor, does that make sense to you? Or a nurturing ground for लव ऑफ लेबर. हमें ऐसा ग्राउंड प्रोवाइड करना है जो बहुत एनरिचिंग हो, जो नरिशमेंट दे. तो ऑब्वियसली द आंसर इज नर्चरिंग. अट्रैक्टिव और इंटरेस्टिंग तो यहाँ पे हो ही नहीं सकता है बिकॉज अट्रैक्टिव जनरली इज रिलेटेड टू कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स और अपीयरेंस, राइट. तो यहाँ पे वहाँ उस चीज़ की तो बात नहीं हो रही है ना कि, और लव ऑफ लेबर इंटरेस्टिंग कैसे हो सकता है. सो ऑब्वियसली द आंसर दैट फिट्स इन हियर इज अ नर्चरिंग ग्राउंड for love of labor. Let's see the next option. A is the answer. Option D, we are supposed to find out the answer for option D. Let's see. So besides providing a nurturing ground for love of labor, dash social attitudes and moral values so as to enable the child. Which type of social attitudes and moral values are necessary? Let's see. Clear moral values. क्लियर का मतलब तो होता है समथिंग विच इज़ ऑब्वियसली ट्रांसपेरेंट और समथिंग विच हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ क्लैरिटी. ठीक है, बट मॉरल वैल्यूज़ से क्लियर का कोई रिलेशन नहीं है. ग्रोइंग मॉरल वैल्यूज़ भी यहाँ पे कुछ रिलेशन नहीं बैठता है, यहाँ पे कोई सेंस नहीं बन रहा है. और नेगेटिव तो डेफिनेटली नहीं है क्योंकि वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट ग्रोइंग पॉजिटिव वैल्यूज़, राइट. सो पॉजिटिव सोशल एटीट्यूड्स एंड मॉरल वैल्यूज़, बी इज़ एन अप्रोप्रिएट आंसर हियर, राइट. So positive moral values and social attitudes are very very essential to enable the child to be dashed to the ideas of others. देखो, अगर दूसरे लोग आपके बच्चे को कोई आइडियाज़ दे रहे हैं तो आपका बच्चा उसके लिए रेडी होना चाहिए उस चीज़ को एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए, राइट? दैट्स व्हाट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, वैल्यूज सच एज ह्यूमिलिटी एंड सिंसियरिटी इन थॉट, वर्ड एंड डीड. सो लेट्स सी व्हाट्स गोइंग टू बी ऑप्शन ई हियर. So the kid should be able to welcome, should be enable the child to be welcome to the ideas or receptive to the ideas, right? He will welcome the ideas but not welcome to it. So obviously this cannot be the answer. Clear to the ideas again does not make sense. So receptive to the ideas obviously is more likely to be the answer. Illegal is negative, but we are talking about things in positive sense. So receptive should be the answer for this, right? And with humility and sincerity, love for mankind and helping the needy would dash at this stage, and its culmination would be in terms of attainment of selfless services. तो हमारा एम क्या होना चाहिए? लव फॉर मैनकाइंड एंड हेल्पिंग द नीडी वुड डैश एट दिस स्टेज. लेट्स सी व्हाट कुड बी. वुड डिसअपियर. अगर हम सारी अच्छी चीज़ें कर रहे हैं तो अच्छी क्वालिटीज़ डिसअपियर क्यों होंगी? ऑब्वियसली नॉट द आंसर. वुड रिवील, बट अगेन रिवील डज नॉट मेक मच सेंस. वुड रिवील एट दिस स्टेज एंड इट्स कल्मिनेशन, क्योंकि ऐसी चीज़ें जो है हम ग्रो होने की बात कर रहे हैं, ना कि रिवील करने की. सो द आंसर शुड बी जर्मिनेट, राइट? क्योंकि अगर हम लिंक भी यहाँ पे डालने की कोशिश करें, वुड लिंक टू वॉट, ठीक है? बिकॉज लिंक इज अ कनेक्शन बिटवीन टू थिंग्स, बट टू थिंग्स आर नॉट रियली मेंशन्ड हियर, ठीक है? सो मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन. दिस इज द वन वर्ड सब्सटीट्यूशन. अ पर्सन हु डज नॉट बिलीव इन गॉड. ऐसा इंसान जो भगवान में बिल्कुल भी आस्था नहीं रखता है इज़ नोन एज एन एथीस्ट. आई थिंक यू गाइज मस्ट हैव ऑलरेडी हर्ड दिस वर्ड plenty of times before. A pagan is a person who basically upholds the values of some other religion which is not famous. जो famous religions होते हैं ये उनको नहीं मानते हैं, ये कुछ अलग ही religions को मानते हैं और उन्हीं की values को uphold करते हैं. A fanatic is an unusual, odd person जो कि बहुत ही ओवरली जीलस होता है अबाउट अ सर्टेन एजेंडा. तो कुछ थोड़े से अजीब से लोग जो होते हैं उनको फैनेटिक्स बोलते हैं, एंड ओवर जीलस लोगों को फैनेटिक्स बोलते हैं. स्पिरिचुअल इंसान तो कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हो सकता जो भगवान में ही बिलीव ना करे, राइट? सो एथीस्ट इज द आंसर फॉर दिस. वन हु सेल्स थिंग्स बाय रोमिंग अबाउट. अ बिजनेसमैन डज नॉट रियली सेल्स स्टफ बाय रोमिंग अराउंड. तो कौन होता है जो चीज़ें घूम घूम के बेचता है? तुम लोगों ने देखा होगा बहुत सारे ठेले वालों को. सो व्हाट कुड बी द आंसर? अगेन अ शॉपकीपर इज द वन हु कीप्स अ शॉप. दैट मीन्स इट्स अ स्टेबल प्लेस, घूमता नहीं है वो. ग्रोसर की भी एक शॉप ही होती है. सो द ओनली आंसर दैट कम्स टू द माइंड इज हॉकर. एग्जैक्टली, मोस्ट ऑफ यू गेस्ड इट राइट. So hawker is a person who sells things from door to door. Moving on to the next one, a person who always looks at the bright side of a thing. That means they always see the glass half full. Who is that person? A positive thinker is an optimist. Exactly. Pessimist जो होता है वो तो negative thinker होता है. Philanthropist is a person who loves to do charity. And hypocrite, I think hypocrite is a person जो आपके सामने कुछ और पीठ पीछे कुछ और. And double-faced, duplicitous in intention. So the answer should be optimist. Moving to the next one, former holder of any office or position. Former holder का मतलब क्या होता है? जो पहले holder था उस authority का. इसका मतलब है predecessor, ठीक है? Successor का मतलब है आने वाले समय में जो who is going to hold office or position. Heir is basically one who has got the property through lineage, right? So that is the heir of a property. जैसे कि हम देखते हैं कि राजा महाराजाओं में उनका ही बेटा राजा बनता है, ठीक है? So predecessor is somebody who held the office before. So it's a pre word से ही समझ में आ जाना चाहिए. The next one is based on idioms. And as you can see, a snake in the grass. A snake in the grass का मतलब क्या होता है? आप बोलते हो ना हमने सांप पाल के रखे हैं. That means it's a hidden enemy. इट्स नॉट अ फेयर वेदर फ्रेंड. ओ, हम अगर बात करें फेयर वेदर फ्रेंड की तो इसका मतलब है वो लोग, वो दोस्त जो हमेशा अच्छे वक्त में ही साथ में रहते हैं. अ बोसम फ्रेंड का मतलब होता है अ डियर फ्रेंड, अ ट्रस्टवर्दी पर्सन. अ स्नेक कांट बी ट्रस्टवर्दी, सो ऑब्वियसली द ओनली ऑप्शन दैट कैन बी करेक्ट हियर इज़ अ हिडन एनिमी. अ स्नेक इन द ग्रास, क्यों? क्योंकि ग्रास में हम स्नेक को ईजिली नहीं देख सकते. ही इज़ बेसिकली हिडन इन दैट ग्रास, राइट? Now, the next one, to give a false coloring. What does that mean? The word false, I think, is hint enough to understand what could be the answer. Does that mean somebody being honest? या हम facts को reveal कर रहे हैं, या हम proof को provide कर रहे हैं? तो फिर false क्यों बोल रहे हैं हम उस चीज़ को? क्योंकि ये सारी चीज़ें जो होती हैं ये तो honesty से related है ना. This, this and this. So the only answer which gives a false coloring is when we misrepresent something. कुछ गलत तरीके से दिखाना is misrepresenting, right? The next one, to see eye to eye, that means to have common ground. If we both see eye to eye, that means हम दोनों ही उस चीज़ पे सहमत हैं. To agree on something, and to not see eye to eye means to disagree. ठीक है? To oppose तो बिल्कुल नहीं होगा eye to eye. To appreciate भी नहीं होगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कुछ अप्रिसिएशन के बारे में बात नहीं हो रही है. इसका मतलब ये होता है कि किसी इशू पे हमारे सेम व्यूज़ हैं. दैट इज़ टू अग्री. टू लीव नो स्टोन अनटर्न. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, राइट नाउ यू गाइज आर लीविंग नो स्टोन अनटर्न टू क्रैक दीज एग्जामिनेशंस, टू क्रैक ओलेट्स, राइट? इसका मतलब क्या है? यू आर ट्राइंग योर बेस्ट, यू आर गिविंग योर बेस्ट, एंड दैट इज़ ऑप्शन बी. Let's see the next one. Now this is based on prepositions, which is a topic of parts of speech. ठीक है? The old man was proud on his son, at his son, in his son. Does not really make sense. There are certain words which will always carry a particular preposition, like proud. Proud of. We are always proud of someone, right? So B is the answer. The next one is, I congratulated my friend dash his brilliant success in the examination. You will congratulate your friend on his brilliant success, right? For his brilliant success, although might sound correct, but it's not really the correct preposition here. On, you congratulate somebody on something that they have achieved, right? Now, English, this is based on articles, by the way. English is dash universal language. What you need to focus on is the pronunciation of the letter U. Although it might obviously apparently give you the idea that it's a vowel, but इसका U का जो sound है वो इस particular word में vowel sound नहीं है. It's a consonant sound. और अगर consonant sound है तो consonants के साथ हम कौन सा article use करते हैं? We use a. So English is a universal language, right? So A should be the answer. Pune is dash Oxford of the East. When we compare one thing to a distinguished other thing, always remember the should be the answer. क्योंकि this is a distinguished thing which is being compared to this. तो उसके लिए हमें the लगाना ही पड़ेगा. For example, he is the Sachin Tendulkar of our team, like that. Each of the student dash present in the class. Now this question is based on subject verb agreement, another grammar topic. अगर हम each बोल रहे हैं इसका मतलब है हर एक, इसका मतलब है it's a singular entity. So what should be the answer? Was. Each of the student was present in the class. यहाँ पे plural वाली चीज़ें तो पहले ही eliminate हो जाएंगी, और has के साथ we use V3, which is not really used here, right? V3 is the third form of verb, and that basically means break, broke, broken. ऐसे type के verbs use होने चाहिए थे जो कि यहाँ पे use नहीं हुए हैं. So was is the correct answer. The Prime Minister as well as the ministers. हमेशा याद रखना, whenever a subject is joined by as well as, along with, in addition to, with, ऐसे words जब आ जाते हैं तो इस second subject को ignore it. सिर्फ इस सब्जेक्ट पे फोकस करो और अकॉर्डिंगली इस फिल इन द ब्लैंक को फिल करो. सो द प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज़ अ सिंगुलर सब्जेक्ट, तो क्या होना चाहिए? और यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं V3, तो यहाँ पे हैज़, हैव, had, इन तीनों में से कुछ भी यूज हो सकता है, बट प्राइम मिनिस्टर सिंगुलर है, सो द आंसर शुड बी हैज़, राइट? द प्राइम मिनिस्टर एज वेल एज द मिनिस्टर्स हैज़ गॉन अब्रॉड. The next one is basically a sentence that's given to you, and you are supposed to find out a word which is similar in meaning to sapped. Okay? Last fortnight, the rains came to the parched soils of India after the merciless drought had already sapped the vitality. देखो क्या होता है, ड्रॉट में पानी की कमी होती है, राइट? और इसकी वजह से सूखा पड़ना जो होता है, that's basically a consequence of drought. एंड इसका मतलब ये है कि जितना भी पानी था, इट वॉज सक्ड आउट ऑफ द ग्राउंड. तो सैप्ड का मतलब होता है ड्रेन्ड अवे. ड्रेन्ड का मतलब भी वही होता है, सक्ड आउट. ठीक है? सैप्ड डज नॉट मीन टू डिक्रीज, ठीक है? इट डज नॉट मीन टू डिमोलिश विच मीन्स डिस्ट्रॉयड. ये दोनों तो सिनोनिम्स हैं, दोनों ही आउट हो जाएंगे. ठीक है? इट बेसिकली मीन्स वट एवर वॉज लेफ्ट, इवन दैट हैज़ बिन सक्ड आउट ऑफ इट. ठीक है? So that should be the answer, drained away. Now let's see the next one. We need to find the word which is similar in meaning to emulate. When youngsters do not have good role models to emulate, हम अच्छे रोल मॉडल्स को क्या करते हैं? उनके एक्शंस को मिरर करते हैं या उनके एक्शंस को इमिटेट करते हैं. That's basically what is the meaning of emulate. When you emulate somebody, that means you imitate them, you copy them, right? Mollify means to pacify or to calm somebody. Modify का मतलब है changes, inhabit का मतलब है उस जगह पे रहना, जो कि यहाँ पे बिल्कुल भी सही नहीं है. So the answer should be to imitate or to copy. And that's pretty much it. As you can very well see, you can subscribe or you can register for our free demo classes, and you will get first-hand experience as to what to anticipate when it comes to AILETs. So that's it from my side. I hope this video was helpful, and please start preparing these topics. You can very well see the weightage of these topics, and grammar and vocabulary is that one part which, if you have practiced thoroughly, I think half of the battle is already won that way. So thank you so much, and that's it from my side. Bye bye, see you.